If you're an athlete, you know the greatest motivator of all is the fear of letting your teammates down. After all, a team is only as good as its weakest link. So you owe it to those wearing the same jersey as you to be your best every time you step on the field. That's why there's no vape in team. When you vape, you can expose your lungs to toxic chemicals that can damage your lungs. If you're a step behind, the team's a step behind. Brought to you by The Real Cost and the FDA.
If you're unaware, T-Mobile calls themselves the Un-carrier, which is fitting, considering they've just unraveled their price lock guarantee for new customers. If you ask me, that's pretty uncool. If you're uncomfortable with a company that says one thing but does another, then stick with Xfinity, whose whole home Wi-Fi, wired internet, service, speed, and reliability are unparalleled. Avoid the Un-carrier. Stick with Xfinity. Effective for new customers after 1/17/24. T-Mobile's price lock will only reimburse your last bill if you terminate service due to a price increase.
True. And this is not conspiracy theory. This could be fact if we don't play our cards.
Well, I can agree with you just said, Savage. Holy moly, I mean...
You make bad news into uncut and uncensored news.
And I don't know if it's true. I guess it is that Speaker Johnson said there's not enough
Real talk. No filter on Savaged Unfiltered. Savaged.
Alrighty, guys, welcome to today's show. Really awesome show we got lined up today. I want to get into some why Spotify is wanting to cut 1,500 people. And I seen this headline earlier this morning. I was reading it, and I thought I pretty much presented in today's podcast episode. Because it sucks because I'm aligned with Spotify. And when I was reading it a little bit, guys, the whole cut to reduce costs, that kind of got me. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on with Spotify? Like they're doing this to reduce costs. But why? I mean, Spotify's doing well. I mean, yeah, the stock market is upside down, and every market, every company is having their issues with the stocks, though. But like, why are they wanting the cut? So we're gonna read more about this, guys. Explain it a little bit more to you guys, because I'm sure you guys, the listeners, are a little interested in it. Kind of questioning it as I am. Because like I said, I'm part of the Spotify network. So it's like, I'm kind of questioning it myself. So, hey, but before we get into that, I do want to say thank you to some people that we've had on the show this past week. Thank you to Hot Rod Bob Beck for coming on the show. It was a really interesting conversation we had with him. Really wanted to get some more on him and this and that, but we're going to bring him back on for part 2. So you're going to want to check that out as we bring it back on the show, because he had a fascinating story. He got into his passion behind motorsports, drag racing, just announcing and calling the show behind the microphone. So
Savage Unfiltered. So it's a pretty busy facility.
Oh yeah, that's awesome, man. I mean, I've heard of what you do, and I just haven't seen any of the races. Are they normally local there in the area, or do you go? Yeah. You guys go all over the place?
Well, the track I work at, Riverdale Drag Strip, I'm there every Thursday night. However, I travel, and that's one of the reasons we had some difficulty setting up together a couple of weeks ago. 13 years or so. So I've been all over the place doing this, and it's fun. Now, you said about the name Hot Rod Bob. That my son gave me that nickname about...
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, about 36 years ago. And that was my first email. We had AOL at the time. So that was my first email address, Hot Rod Bob.
So we're going to get more into that on part 2. So check that out on the Savage Unfiltered library as it drops. Other than that, let's dig right in. Joseph, buddy, yeah, welcome.
And you forgot James Beak.
Oh yeah, I knew I forgot somebody. I can't plug everybody in, but I was just saying thank you to some of the people that came in. I'd also want to thank you to James Beeks, former world-renowned Broadway actor. Now just trying to stay relevant in the business, because we'll get into that a little bit. But
swing your razor wide, swinging, hold it to the skies. Freely flows the blood of those who moralize. His needs were few, his rule was rare.
But I want to talk about a little bit of the Spotify, Joseph. I want to get into why they want to, cut and reduce costs. There's an issue behind that, and we'll explain that a little bit into the episode. But
the basic, obvious reason is Bidenomics, and costs are going up, and revenues aren't keeping up with the costs. So, lots of places looking to cut corners.
Yeah, but why do you feel like they all right? So they're going to cut corners here, but is it because of the Bidenomics or is it other reasons? Obviously, if anybody is not aware of Spotify, to my knowledge, Joe, there's no union or anything like that in the play. So, and the reason why I bring it up union is because if there was a union, and to my knowledge, there is no union in Spotify or any type of network that's similar to Spotify, like iHeart and Apple. There's no unions there. So if there was a union, I could see,
Savage.
The negotiations are not there. But like you mentioned Bidenomics. Okay, let's talk about Bidenomics. Like, what do you think is affecting it with the Bidenomics?
Well, again, costs of everything. I don't know what Spotify's costs. I would imagine a lot of it is personnel. I mean, that's the one corner they've got to cut. And they've got a lot of server space to worry about. I don't know where their offices are for, rents going up or what.
Well, they're all over the country. I mean, just listen to this. There's a company, and I want to bring this in because maybe it'll make sense to some of you guys that are listening in. There's a company that helped Taylor Swift earn more than $100 million, which announced it's cutting 17% of its staff to cut the costs. Now, if the company helped Taylor Swift earn all that money, and it was aligned with Spotify in some form or another, because there's a lot of people that rely on Spotify, Joe. I mean, you got podcasters such as myself, including you with your show. You have musicians, artists. They rely on the platform to get their content, their material out. So we'll talk about Taylor Swift. Now, that company helped her earn more than $100 million.
I don't miss on iHeartRadio.
Pretty much bring her onto the map. Okay, if that company helped her earn that money, who's to say that that company finessed a little bit with Spotify? You know what I mean? That's just me saying that. I don't know.
I'm not sure what you're getting at. I'm a little slow
Oh,
today.
yeah.
I got a cold and I'm on over-the-counter cold and flu.
Joe's on
meds,
drugs
so.
today, so he's a little like fucking high off the kite, you know? No.
I'm actually like slow today. I'm like,
No, it's all right. But what I'm trying to say is, here's where it'll make sense. Okay, I just said it. Okay, guys, the company literally helped Taylor Swift earn that money. Okay, now that company, and I'm just making somewhat of not accusations but assumptions to understand it a little bit more clear. Who's to say that company did not finesse a little bit with Spotify's board and executives to make that happen? Maybe plug a little bit more of advertisements in that dug into Spotify's costs, because we just said it earlier in the episode. They're trying to cut costs anywhere, you know, and if they're relying on big artists such as Taylor Swift and others, big names in podcasting. I mean, your Dan Bongino's, your just to name a few, right? I mean, if they're putting their market value in people like Taylor Swift with other companies, third-party companies that are helping these artists, you know, get the money and get the advertisement and the billboards and all that other stuff, it may cut into Spotify, Joe. If that makes sense, like they're going into the petty cash, so to speak, account, because every company has petty cash accounts, right? So maybe they're going a little bit into the petty cash, and it's hurting the company a little bit. I'm just making a assumption here. That's all.
Yeah, we don't know unless if they're willing to report the. I'm not sure. Is Spotify a publicly traded company?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
They're publicly traded. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah, we need to hear if indeed like ad revenue might be down, because again, all companies are looking to cut some corners, and some of them may be cutting ad revenue. So yeah, if ad revenue is down at Spotify, again, you know, costs continue going up and revenues may not be increasing, because Spotify, I would imagine the majority of their revenue comes from ads.
Yeah. And I mean, ads are great. I love having ads even on this show, because it helps the growth, it helps the reach, you know, and it's just, I mean, you need ads. I mean, we had an episode.
Got to pay the bills.
Yeah, you have to pay the bills. I mean, we just did an episode, you know, with Texas Trucker that called in about a couple weeks ago with ads. If ads are good or bad, some are good, some are bad, folks. I mean, it just depends on, you know, you're the way you look at it, pretty much. But I want to go into
Savage on Demand.
Right, EK said that the company has to right size, right, after hiring too many people. So here's where some of the costs are affecting them, right? They hired way too many people, Joseph, in 2020 and 2021. So they're overstaffed right now. So that's another reason why they're trying to reduce costs. They hired way too many people in both of those years. So, I mean, do you have to blame the CEO? Do you have to blame the hiring managers for doing that? Yes and no. But I think that they might have hired people because you all remember in 2020, 2021, right before the transition between Trump and Biden, there was somewhat of a hiring boom that happened during that year and a couple months into it. And then after that, the transition basically came into play, and then where we are now, with everything. But
Yeah,
I mean, do
that happens.
you want to blame the
happens
hiring though, Joe? Like, do you think the hiring might have had effect of it? Hiring way too many people.
Well, again, the upper echelon, of course, approves the budgets, and this happens at a lot of companies that are doing fairly well and they're growing, and mid-level managers,
Yeah.
I think, get this notion in order to protect their job, they need to bring in more people to manage
Yeah.
under them to make it look like, you know, so that they're covering more people. And oftentimes, yeah, sometimes uh, getting more help is good. You could use it, but do you really need it?
Yeah.
Savage Unfiltered on iHeartRadio.
Out of desire to continue growing rather than whether they really need it. And then when times slow down, then they go back and look at, well, we didn't really need all these employees. I mean, there was work enough to create for more people to do, but you could do with less, and they are discovering that.
Yeah.
Not only could they're going to need to now due to costs.
Well, get this, because like I was reading into this a little bit here, and there's something here that kind of struck me right here, where the Spotify CEO Eek said in a memo, he said this: while I'm convinced this is the right action for our company, I also understand it will be incredibly painful for our team. Incredibly painful for the team. Like, what does he mean by that? It's going to be incredibly painful for them.
People who are getting axed.
Well, I understand they're going to get canned. They're going to get terminated. They're going to be without a job
for them. Yeah.
But
then who's left behind? Obviously, who's picking up what slack and that? Because for example, I'll use like a Kmart, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Kmart kept growing and growing and growing, even though revenues kept slowing down. Then they kept growing, and then at some point you've got to start cutting back, and from all those extra people because you're creating red tape also. Then.
Yeah.
You're not as nimble. You're not as able to get things done. When you grow and grow and grow, the bureaucracy within, then, well, so-and-so's got to check with so-and-so, and you got too many layers of bureaucracy then.
Yeah. Well, he's also stating this. The company needs to be more productive but less efficient.
Huh?
I'm going to say that again. More productive, but less efficient. Okay. There's something's
right.
not adding up right here.
No, that's not right.
Basically, he said that in a statement. He said that the company needs to be more productive, but less efficient. Adding now that we need to be both. Okay.
Right. Need to be both. Yeah, obviously he misspoke a little.
Yeah, I mean, like I know who the hell put this out. Yeah, okay. So Boston
to be more need to be more productive without cutting efficiency.
Yeah, I was about to say, right? Boston
hurting.
Yeah, Boston 25 News put this out earlier this morning, guys. So if you guys could check it out, because I was reading this whole article. And if you head over to boston25news.com, it's a trending story on their top headliner there, which we'll put in the show notes, guys. If you're curious about Spotify and where their business practices are going from here, I'm curious because I use Spotify. Not only for the show here, but I love Spotify. I love the different shows. I love how you can create playlists and this and that. I just love the platform. It's a tremendous platform, But I want to go back to, saying that, it's going to be incredibly painful for his team. That I have a heart out for people like that, because you have to remember, as a podcaster, even Joe here will probably relate too. I mean, depending on the show, whatever type of plateau it is, there's a lot of editing that goes in place. So some of these people probably have been with Spotify for years. Mostly a lot of people that are going to get cut from these jobs, folks, are your digital team, your low and high end production team, your mixers, your voiceover artists, your commercial artists, all that other stuff that goes into, making a show, making a platform like Spotify or any other platform, iHeart, Apple, all that stuff, guys, behind the scenes. There is a crazy amount of members of a lot of teams that put all that together. So they're going to be without jobs. But here's the thing.
Michael Gardner on demand.
Yeah, because they put all that time in that company. But with their knowledge and talent, they could pick up a job anywhere, Joe. I mean, they go over to iHeart, go over to, Westwood One, all these big networks, man. They'll pick them up like that, because of the experience.
Well, if they're hiring, because I mean, the other thing is not just ad revenue, it's subscriptions, right? A lot of these streaming services, because people are hurting due to Bidenomics, they're not renewing subscriptions to things like maybe Spotify because, hey, I'll just watch YouTube music videos. People creating playlists over there, they could do that for free rather than pay a Spotify subscription to listen to as much.
But I mean, usually, man, like you ever heard the expression, like you get what you pay for. Sometimes you have to put the damn the bill on the stamp, man. I mean, like free is good. Don't get me wrong. I love free, but like sometimes you don't get the best, quality when you do free. So people will have to understand that. I want to get into this next thing here with Spotify, guys, but I got to get a quick break. We'll be right back.
I've always had trouble falling asleep and staying asleep. Insomnia. But then I found QVivic, an FDA-approved medication for adults with insomnia. And I'm glad I found it. You wouldn't believe some of the things people suggested to help me sleep. Nature sounds, no thanks. My friend's white noise idea, nope. And I'm not counting sheep. Not on the carpet. Insomnia can impact both my days and my nights, so I know how important a good night's sleep is. That's why I take QVivic nightly.
Maybe I should tell him how it works, Tay? QVivic works differently than medications you may have taken in the past. It's thought to target one of the biological causes of insomnia, overactive wake signals. And when taken every night, studies showed sleep continued to improve over time. Do not take QVivic if you have narcolepsy. Don't drink alcohol while taking QVivic or drive or operate heavy machinery until you feel fully alert. QVivic may cause temporary inability to move or talk or hallucinations while falling asleep or waking up. QVivic may cause sleepiness during the day. QVivic may lead to doing activities while not fully awake that you don't remember the next day, like walking, driving, and making or eating food. Worsening depression, including suicidal thoughts, may occur. Most common side effects are headaches and sleepiness.
It's QVivic. Ask your doctor if it's right for you.
All right, guys, welcome back to the show. I want to get into this severance stuff here. With a lot of people here on Spotify that just announced this here. The company said that the affected employees should have all one-on-one meetings with HR by the close of business, which was last Tuesday. And they're going to receive a severance pay, which is expected. A large company like Spotify would dish out the severance pay. I mean, I want to say that. Let me go back a little bit. Not every large company does issue severance pay. I guess it's part of, possibly a contract that they sign, or maybe in the employee handbook. You have to read the fine print, guys, so you know what you're getting into if there ever come down to a predicament such as this situation. But there is a severance pay on this issue here, and I'll literally explain to you with this. They'll receive the severance pay, of course, like we just announced. There's going to be paid out PTO. What that necessarily means, guys, is I've worked for companies in the past with PTO, is if you have accrued PTO, and the company Spotify is going to do the same scenario. If you have accrued PTO, all the remaining PTO in the account there for you will be paid out with the severance pay. So that's good. They'll have some money to kind of piggyback off of until they pick up some more work. So that's great. The healthcare during the severance period, which is another one. Career support and immigration support. For those who have an immigration status that's connected with their employment. Got to throw that in there, right, Joe? The immigration, man. The immigrants that come in here with work visas that are part of Spotify, because you got to remember, Spotify is not only in the United States. I mean, you look, there's Spotify Canada, Spotify UK and Ireland, Spotify Mexico, but there's a lot of what they call satellite offices, Joseph, that are connected with the main Spotify headquarters here in the States. But all your immigrants, man, they're going to have the benefits. So that's a little chuckle, right?
Yeah. So did they say like a week or 2 weeks or a month per year?
Oh, here we go.
Usually it's per year.
Yeah, here we go on that. Like, here's what they said. The severance now, folks, will last about 5 months on the average. So, okay. So you have to understand, last week, folks, was the beginning phases of the layoffs, terminations. It's going to go into phases. They're not going to lay off everybody all at one lump sum. It's going to be in phases. That's how usually companies as large as Spotify and others, I've seen companies in this same aspect, guys, with Walmart and Amazon do the same scenario. They're going to lay off in phases. So you'll have like a phase that started last week. You'll have another phase maybe this week going into next week, and then vice versa. And then it's also going to carry into those 5 months. So the people that are receiving the first payments of severance, that's going to be the first payment, and then the next payment and the next payment up to 5 months. And then after 5 months, that's it. They're done.
That's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not a bad deal.
If you've only been there 1 or 2 years, that's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
But if you've been there 10, 15 years, well.
Yeah.
That's, I think, actually pretty standard.
What it's going to do is it's going to hurt their potential pension packages that they might have gotten. So, for instance, man, if you have employees that have been with this company for, say, 15, 16, 18 years, okay, it's gonna affect their pension, because, for instance, what I'm talking about, man, is like, say you have somebody that's been with the company for 15, 16, 18 years, right? they're right around getting their pension, right around. Well, they're not going to get a pension now because or maybe they are, depending on how the work contract was put in play when they were hired.
Well, a lot of modern companies don't offer a pension. They'll match a 401k, but a lot of companies. Yeah. So I don't know if they even have pensions. I mean, pensions have gone the way of the dodo board.
Pensions are a thing of the past. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
You can't afford to pay people not working. I mean, it's just not a realistic business model anymore. It just doesn't work. So a lot of companies, you do your own 401k and they'll throw you extra cash and
savage
25-cent match on whatever dollars you put away.
Yeah.
So
I'm also reading this, man, where it also says that that the cuts that's being affected with this, Spotify, they released their third quarter reports on this. Do you know that Spotify said it had $70.7 million in profit in their third quarter? That's pretty good. Pretty good.
Well, it's not bad.
I thought it might have been higher. I thought it might have been a little bit over 100. You know, the reason why I say that is because of the mass amounts of platforms that are aligned with Spotify. Like we mentioned, Spotify UK, Ireland, Spotify Canada, Mexico. Even there's a Spotify Japan. They're all over the world for that matter. But like 70 million as a worldwide conglomerate like that, I mean, that seems to be a little low. So maybe that might be the reason why they're going into budget cuts. Maybe they're rebranding. I mean, we've seen companies rebrand, right? X now, Twitter going into X. Facebook, getting the Meta crap in. So maybe it's a rebranding strategy. Who knows?
Yeah, well, indeed, if they are publicly traded, there could be some pressure from stockholders to try to get that profit margin up so that the shareholder share of any, not commissions. You know what I know you know what I mean, but I know what you're saying.
Meds
are,
I know what you're saying.
My meds are. I'm not coming up with the word.
Yeah, I wanna.
The profit sharing aspect.
Yeah, guys, I want to get into this Taylor Swift thing because we mentioned that earlier in the episode. I want to make sure I mention that and a few other things before we dip out on the
dividends.
What's that? Dividends.
Dividends.
Yeah.
That's the word I was
dividends, guys. We're going to talk about dividends. We're going to talk about Taylor Swift. We'll be right back, guys. I got to get a break in. Yeah, thank you, Shim. Got to get a break in, guys.
I can turn anything into pillow. Those words, bam! Now pillow. Dog, cat, steak, gold, football man, movie stars, sports team. Your beloved dog? You love him so much? Now he's pillow. Your beloved Mima that you haven't seen since you were 12. Yababushki! Pillow. I miss you, Mima. She is with the angels now. But she is also on my couch. We can turn anything you love into pillow. If you can take picture of it, we can turn into pillow. Like this adorable baby. You want bigger? Bigger? Okay, that is too big. But if you want, we can do it. We just made the world's largest pillow. We can make your pillow too. Oh, hello. Do you love your wife? Now you have two wives. Real wife and pillow wife. Pillow wife doesn't get mad and make you sleep on the couch. We can make anything into pillow.
Even naughty pictures?
No. We don't do naughty pictures. Somebody has to make these pillows.
Please, I need to go to church.
You turn husband into pillow. But he is not real, man. He is soft. We make all of the pillows in America. I love this country. That is why I make into pillow. All of your dreams can come true in America. And you can make all of your dreams into pillows. Can't afford gift? Give pillow instead. Pillow. Bottle of wine, fancy purse, expensive art. Pillow, pillow, pillow. And it doesn't cost arm and leg. But we can make those into pillows too. These people love their pillows.
Oh my god! Guys! It is super high quality material.
I mean, how awesome is that?
You can even turn things you hate into pillow. Like the word moist. or your boss. No, boss. You stay late. You stay late. It's so easy. You take picture of thing you love or hate, then you upload to website. We cut it out or don't cut it out. You pick the size. Then we make the pillow. Click below to make your pillow now. And we can make anything into pillow. What about the girl you love? You can swipe up. And practice talking to her as pillow. Or just talk to her like real men. Don't be soft, like pillow men. Look, I put the pillow on the dog. Oh, we put that dog on the pillow, dog. You are going to love your pillow dog pillow, dog. We guarantee it. The special effect is now a pillow. You can turn anything into pillow at allaboutvibe.com. You like this commercial? It's pillow too. Any color, any style, any vibe, you can turn into pillow. Get your pillow now at allaboutvibe.com.
Yeah. But
pen
yeah, guys.
rolled off the table.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, we're back to the show here. Joe mentioned something about dividends. We're gonna get into dividends here on today's episode. Regarding the cuts here. But I do want to mention this here right before we kind of depart here from the show. I mentioned Taylor Swift. The reason why I mentioned Taylor Swift is you're gonna understand, why I'm getting. And I'm talking more on Taylor Swift than any other person on Spotify. Do you know that Taylor Swift was named the streaming platform, which we're talking about Spotify? Now, I'm not talking about fucking iHeartRadio or Apple, guys. I'm talking about Spotify because that's what we're discussing today. Taylor Swift was named the streaming platform's top stream artist for this year alone, 2023. Which was first reported by Billboard from January 1st to about last week. That's a hell of a hell of a title to have the top streaming artist known as Taylor Swift to receive that for herself. Which, get this, Joseph, the singer had 26.1 billion streams, making her not only the top streaming platform artist on the platform, but making her the highest earner in Spotify's history with an estimate of 100 million. That's fucking crazy. I mean, nuts. 100 million and royalties. That's how much royalty she's getting from the platform.
That's a lot of money, yep.
Now I've mentioned, I'm going to get your thoughts on that, but I've mentioned Taylor Swift in this, right? I thought we're talking about the highest earner in Spotify. I thought, I'm not going to, guys, I'm not going to do her wrong or anything like that. But the reason why I said I thought was I knew people like Taylor Swift and others that are on the platform, including podcasters and stuff. I want to get into podcasting a little bit, where I'm going to get with this. But I thought maybe people were a little bit higher than her. And the reason why I mean by that, I want to go into another category, right? Because Spotify it's a big platform, but there's so many different categories. There's musicians, artists, podcasters, all that stuff. But I wanted to go into maybe people like Joe Rogan or Dan Bongino possibly earning more, because I mean they have top streaming ranks in podcasting. Dan Bongino getting fucking, what was it, Jakey? We just seen that, right?
Savage, unfiltered, uncut, raw.
Spotify, including iHeart and all the others. I think, what was it? Joe Rogan hitting the top rank on the platform Rumble about a week ago. I thought maybe those people, Joseph, were your top, streamers. But Taylor Swift hitting that market, yeah.
Obviously, a podcast people will usually listen to once.
Yeah.
So more people listening to something. Whereas music, people come back and play that tune over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So
well,
I could.
well. Here's the thing, man. Like, you know, like we're talking about Taylor Swift. We mentioned a couple of podcasters in between, but here's the thing. As we close up here, I'm gonna make a little segue for you with your dividends, because I know you want mention dividends, but if Spotify has all these great artists and talents on their platform, Bongino, Rogan, Swift, the Godfather of talk radio, Michael Savage. I mean, all these great people. Like, why are they so? I don't want to use the word afraid, but why are they so worried about cutting costs? If these people are generating fucking millions upon millions, going into just about almost billions, right? Why are they so timid to cut the costs?
Savage on iHeartRadio.
Again, what costs are rising, and again, I think probably there may be paid subscription issues. Even if people aren't canceling subscriptions, they may be scaling down from like whatever. I don't know the Spotify levels, like unlimited to gold as opposed to silver or whatever. People are needing to cut corners. I mean, do you take food off the family table? No, you've got to cut subscriptions to, like I saw, I'm not sure, like supposedly 25 million subscriptions cut at Disney over the Elon Musk Bob Iger dust stuff.
Yeah, that's drawing a lot of eyes.
True or not, but that's obviously different because that's a boycott thing.
You just mentioned ads again. Like I just noticed relating to Elon Musk's X that fucking Walmart now is wanting to pull ads from Elon Musk's X platform because of the recent anti-Semitic statement that he made. You know, when he told Bob and the others there were, if you're going to blackmail me with money about ads, then go fuck yourself. I guess Walmart didn't like that. They're like, oh, that's okay. But like Walmart, it's okay. It's not okay that he said that, right? But you're going to like this, folks. Watch. It's not okay for Walmart or for Elon Musk to say that. But it's okay for Walmart to promote transgenderism in their stores. You don't think they do? Oh my God! Savage actually said that. Yeah, go to stores here in Orlando, Florida, where I reside, and you'll see rainbow shit all over T-shirts, and the children's section. Yeah, that's okay. But obviously Elon Musk said a cuss word, Joseph. So they're going to pull the ads because he said to a couple people, go fuck yourself, because they're blackmailing them. Free speech, right?
Yeah, Walmart's not hitting the boycott like Target did because Target kind of went out of their way to promote that stuff on television. So
you know what I call them?
Walmart's doing it a lot more quietly.
Yeah, I call these companies the rainbow cults of equity, right? Of people need to be entitled. Yeah, so they're going to go to these places and say, I'm going to go to Target or I go to Walmart or something or any other store because they sell this stuff and they support transgenderism. Get out of here with that.
And the other thing is Walmart gets most of its stuff from China too. So I mean, they get it cheap from China. That's how their prices are so low. Whereas Kmart used to be known as the Great American Retailer. Well,
not anymore.
That hurt them. They went under because
not anymore. All Walt.
People wanted cheap. But like you said earlier,
Walton, right? Yeah, Walton, right? Is that his last name? Yeah, Walton, right? Yeah. The original founder of Walmart, right? He's probably in his grave shaking his head probably of the disgust that he sees in his company. because that company does not take care of their employees. And I'll get into that in another episode because, I mean, it's disgusting what happened with Walmart over the years. So much greed and corruption, and everything. It's terrible, But the publication now said this, Joe, that it could be as high as 131 million if people add Taylor Swift in her publication or publishing revenue, meaning that if they use a lot of her stuff and they bring it into their own publishing revenue, that it could jump even higher. So, I mean, we've seen this with other people such as Logan Paul. Logan Paul is a big YouTuber on YouTube. His fucking revenue spiked, literally spiked overnight. And the guy's doing fucking phenomenal. I just looked at Logan Paul's stuff. I mean, he's selling this energy drink now, Joe, where it's called Prime, and he's reaching all-time heights. Another one that's reaching success. Not only like Taylor Swift, but Logan Paul. What is it? Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson with his tequila, Mama's. What the fuck is it called, Jake? Mama Sakala, some kind of Samoan name. I can't even pronounce it. But yeah, I think you guys understand
Just
what I'm getting with that.
Call it Yo Mama. Yeah.
Yo Mama. Yo
Mama.
Throw Mama from the train.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're getting into dividends. I want to get some closing reactions with your dividends as we close it up because I did promise I'll give you a segue for that. Yeah.
Another pressure. When you've got publicly traded companies, if they, have pressure from the stockholders to pay greater dividends, because again, investors are hurting too due to the economy. So they're looking to squeeze more from companies to help their personal bottom line. So there could be that pressure to get those revenues up, that overall profit, so that the stockholders, the shareholders, get more in dividends.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of pressures on these companies. It's usually not just one thing.
Well, in last closing statements here from either one of us, I mean, do you think by this move with Spotify, do you think it's gonna make a merge into the podcasting? I'm kind of worried, man, as a podcast. I mean, I don't want them to pull the plug. I mean, we do phenomenal. And other people, I give you a hat tip for delivering the content. I mean, there's so many great productions in every show. I mean, I don't put other shows out there, man. Do you think they're gonna make the cuts to podcasting at all, or what?
Well, where I think they might do is start charging more for some services that are offered.
Yeah. Yeah, because, not for nothing. I mean, Spotify is a large network, not only for music, but podcasting alone. I think, right, Shaky? Yeah, Shaky, thank you for the notes. I mean, basically, Spotify was just ranked just last week as like the third largest and best type of network for podcasting. I know Westwood One is up there. If you guys are not familiar with Westwood One has a lot of greats on it.
Salem.
Yeah, another one.
Salem.
Yeah, but Westwood One is like the top one. I know. What the hell is the other one? Right? There's Westwood One. We mentioned Spotify as number 3, and then the second one would probably be like back and forth between. Podcast Network and Illumify Network. So, I mean, these are great networks. But, if the revenue's not there, they're going to take a nosedive into the water. I mean, you got to remember, guys, like, why are you seeing so many ads on podcasting now? A lot of us, even podcasters, man, we're constantly plugging, subscribe to our channel or subscribe to our show. That subscription will save you from hearing the ads if you don't want to hear the ads. But a lot of us depend on the ads because it carries a show and it also makes money for the network that gives us that platform to air our content, such as Spotify and others. So
yeah,
ads
that's
are
the
good.
other area.
Yeah.
They may shave 1/10%. Instead of you getting X, you get 1.X
Yeah.
instead.
Yeah.
You know, because to the podcaster, those pennies add up.
Oh yeah.
And then of course you think of that on Spotify with like podcast, not Podcast Bean, but Podcast Addict or one of those
Yeah.
reports. There are like 169 point whatever million
Yeah.
plus podcast episodes.
Yeah.
Not podcasters. I don't know how many podcasts shows.
Shaky said he's
but-
gonna go look
but-
that up. How many podcasts are out there, Shaky? Oh, Shaky's gonna look it up. So as he's looking it up, guys, you know.
All right, yeah, but 169 million plus podcast episodes. How many of them are indeed playing ads? So pennies here and there add up to a lot of money real quick.
Yeah, he just looked at it.
That's not plays. That's how many episodes. So if the average episode, let's go low, is 100, that's 169 billion podcast episode plays.
Yeah. Yeah.
So pennies add up in a hurry.
Yeah, he just looked it up. There's an estimate of 450 million podcasts out there today. An estimate. And the reason why we said an estimate, guys, is because these are broken down from large scale, medium scale, and low budget production. They're all balanced out with all three different categories of podcasts. Again, guys, your high production, your medium scale production, and your low budget production. Low budget meaning they just do a recording, they add it to a network, say like Spotify or iHeart or even Buzzsprout for that matter, whatever network they choose to distribute it to, and that's it. There's no fancy dancy, and then obviously your medium scale and high production gets up there and everything else. But 450 million. That's a lot of fucking shows. It's a lot of competition. When I see 440 million, I see competition. I see like, what can I do better than they can? I have a friendly competition, like not being an asshole and saying, fuck you, Joseph. I'm going to take your fucking show, Constitutionalist Podcast, Politics, and fucking smash it out the water. No, I'm not going to do that to Joe. Joe's a nice guy. Assholes like, Clueless Nation. Yeah, we might take a swing at them and look over the big green monster there in Boston and be like, hey, see you later. Bye-bye. But, it is what it is, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I'm going to get going. I had an itch. No, guys, I'm not doing heroin or cocaine. I had to throw that in there. God knows the liberals would be like, what's Michael doing? But anyway, thank you very much for tuning in, guys. Take it easy. Be savage, not average. Before we close out, guys, I want to give a friendly reminder. Thank you. Check out our Christmas advertisement, guys, that we're throwing in. Use promo code JOEMAS. That's JOEMAS for 30% off your entire order on savagearmy.com. The promo code is on the top of the website, and you can use that all the way up to the end of December, guys. So, it's going to save you 30% off your entire order. Any order on that website, there's a lot of good new merchandise on there, including Joseph's merchandise. Check it out today, guys. Again, happy holidays, guys, and I hope you enjoy this year's Christmas and New Year's. Take it easy, guys.